He is one of the world's premier athletes. I mean, it's amazing to have him in Adelaide.
Lance is a big hero to all of us here.
The superior athlete of all time. I think he's a phenomenal person.
When most people think of this year's Tour Down Under, they think Lance. But what he wants us to think is cancer.
And we want people to know what we went through and what the rest of the world goes through. Keeping in mind that this disease is not just something that affects one person, it affects the entire community around them.
Apart from this being Armstrong's comeback ride from retirement, our South Aussie event is also the launchpad of the cycling champions' Livestrong global cancer campaign.
We studied this epidemic around the world. We studied whether or not Livestrong and our message would have an effect in Australia, in India, in Mexico, in Asia, in Western Europe. Would people listen? Would it affect change? And the answer was a resounding yes.
Following Lance's lead are these guys. On Friday, they'll take part in the Mutual Community Challenge Tour from Burnside to Angaston.
We've got some people that are cancer survivors, we've got some people that are currently going through treatment, we've got others that have got family members who've had cancer, and then we've got just other people out of the community as supporters.
Most of them are members of Cancer Voices SA, a voluntary advocacy group. The bunch of cyclists has been organised by Ashley Moore. He's in remission from tonsil and tongue cancer, and at the time of diagnosis was given only a 20% chance of survival. During the dark times, he looked to Lance.
I'd bought a new bike before I was diagnosed with cancer, and I was too busy with work to worry about my health and fitness, and working very long hours. And when I was diagnosed and after my first operation, my surgeon said, go home and rest. And I bought Lance Armstrong's book in at the market after dinner one night, and I read that book, and that gave me inspiration, and I actually went home and got on my bike and kept riding. I rode throughout treatment until I couldn't balance anymore and then had to give it away.
Team member Paul Garrick has been battling a brain tumour for the last 10 years. His most recent operation was barely a month ago, but he hasn't let that keep him away from these weekly, early morning training sessions. Even not feeling 100%, he gave it his best shot.
This morning I woke up feeling pretty nausea, but I'll make it up the hill today.
Just 7 months ago, 32-year-old Peter George was told he had testicular cancer, the same cancer that ravaged his hero Lance. While in hospital, he heard about Ashley's group and decided to hit the bike track.
It's a great way just to take your mind away from, take your mind off of sort of things that are bothering you. I've been told by a lot of fellows, sort of young guys that I've been riding with here, that in a way you need to try and forget about what's going on, and cycling is a great way to do that.
Some of these guys only started cycling weeks ago. It's hard to believe that on Friday they'll take part in the Tour group category, which will see them ride more than 150 kilometres. For someone who's only just recently bought their bike, how daunting does Friday's ride seem?
Terribly. I'm concerned. Those close to me, my wife, my mum and dad are very concerned as well, but we're all going to stick together. I mean, that's what this is all about. We're all going to help each other out.
It's about teamwork.
It's about teamwork, it's about a bit of cooperation.
As part of the unified fight against the disease, the group's Australian hero, Paralympian gold medalist and fellow cancer sufferer Michael Milton, will ride with the group on Friday. He lost his leg to cancer when he was a kid, and in 2007, esophageal cancer sidelined his dream to compete in the 2008 Paralympic Games in Beijing. In the meantime, this inspirational group is trying its best to catch a glimpse of their Texan inspiration. You're trying to get an audience with Lance. How's that going?
It's
you and millions of others, I would suggest.
That's right. Everybody wants to talk to Lance, or even just have their photo taken with him.
Some of these guys only started cycling weeks ago. It's hard to believe that on Friday they'll take part in the tour group category, which will see them ride more than 150 kilometres.